room, and my dining room is full of pretty precious things in the cabinets there, you know, and Haviland china. We got to have a full set of Haviland china outside of the cups and saucers. It's handed down by one of the old undertakers here in Cleveland, started my wife's great uncle. And we bought the china cabinet down to Buckeye Furniture, well, we remember, 70 years ago. We bought Fostoria ware. It was our gift from somebody. And it's carbon heated or something made. And my wife had it one night for a party here, and I advised her, don't use it. And sure enough, one got broken. I can't find anybody that'll mend it. You know. But I got glassware. Did you see the upstairs? You been upstairs?
Mm-hmm.
You got the cabinet in the back room, the small clock.
Oh, I have to look in there. I haven't seen those.
But I don't know. I guess so much stuff that's. And I got an old blanket. It's a red one that's covered. I thought I lost it, but it was in the back closet. There's they got the name on there embroidered in there, J.C. Williams, I think it's 1853, or no, 1848. Well, that's when it was married, or when it was made. Just old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the bedroom over the garage, because that's loaded, I gotta take half of it over to the church and give away. But on the dressing table, they're in there, packed with pictures and all the old things that my wife had of her mother, and my mother, wedding gowns and caps, everything from back in the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
You can't give them away. I don't. You gotta hang on to them. You know.
Sure.
It's just too much of them. But it's fun. I mean.
How did you meet your wife?
That's a story. I was in the ice and coal business. I had a hard work. You heard of 16 tons music? 16 tons.
Mm-mm.
Well, that was a few years ago. That was pretty popular. Many a time I've shoveled on 16 tons on my truck, an old 1919. I got some pictures in there. I'll have to show you my light truck. No starter, had to crank it, and automatic windshield wipers this way. And then I was in the ice business. I had a friend out of the Toledo Ice Company. They gave me a truck, gave me a route over near Whitmer DeVilbiss High School. And there was a fellow from the Sherlock Baking Company that had his route out there, bread route. And I had lunch with him a few times in the beer tavern over there where I served ice. And he said, you're moving out in West Toledo, he's going to need some ice. So I said, okay, I'll run over with some, 50 pounds. And he said, the folks are over there working now, cleaning the house so they can move in and quit. So I went in, humped in 50 pounds of ice, and Iceman, I repped in the door, Iceman. Heard a voice, like a real sweet voice from the inside, said, come in, the door's unlocked. So I went in and deposited the ice in the chest. The kitchen door was cracked a little bit. And I paused a little bit and I looked down and I saw a scrub brush on the kitchen floor. And I took a second look, I saw a lady down there on her hands and knees. I didn't pay much attention, so just a few words, and on my way. And about 4 or 5 more deliveries, I saw that same woman all dressed up. And I had a few more words with her. And that led to a dinner date. And that led to a 2-year courtship before I married her. That was 1937. I married her at Monroe Street Church in 1939. So that was the way I met my wife. But in my life, I had a lot of hard knocks. I lost my dad when I was 4 months old. He fell off the roof in an accident. My mother remarried when I was 5, and we had a tragic fire in a little store. This man she married, my stepfather, had a store, the grocery store. And my great-grandfather lived on the second floor, stayed with us. When he had a kerosene heater, they think it is, he upset it some way, accident. Set fire and the thing was demolished, clear to the ground, lost everything, even my grandfather perished. My stepfather had an apartment on Monroe Street in Toledo here, so we moved to Toledo when I was about 5, a little after 5. And we lived there through the flu epidemic in 1918. There was lots of many millions of people who survived that. My sister came along in 18, my stepsister, my half-sister, in 18, and 6 years later, my brother came along in 24, and everything was going along good, and my stepfather came down sick with pernicious anemia, and I think it's similar to leukemia today, blood condition. And he died in January of 25. So, it's pretty hard set to my mother, you know, had 3 of us kids, and of course I was a little older at that time. But we had a chance to, she was one of the first 2 women in Ohio to get a real estate license, and nothing was moving though. So we had a chance to rent or lease a big double house across from the baseball park, and a chance to rent light housekeeping rooms. So we got an income coming in, park cars at the ball game. We did that for 4 years until she lost her lease. We had a lot of ball players. Casey Stengel was the manager of the Mud Hens at that time. He and his wife stayed with us. And we got the home run baseball Babe Ruth hit in 1928. We got Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig signed the ball. And a lot of the Yankees. It was Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Tony Lazzari, Mark Kenny, Pat Collins, that I can remember right offhand. And all we had, though, was Berry ink at that time. We didn't have indelible ink, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. After being on the box for 80 years, well, it started to fade out. I know it's there, but you can't see it too well. Mm-hmm. I told the kids, I said, after 80 years, I started to fade out too. You know? But anyway, we lost the lease and we went back over on Monroe Street. And one of our apartments, and we lived there for a short time. And let's see, how was it? I moved over there. My stepfather died. We moved back to the apartment. And I finished up high school in 1930. I graduated from vocational school. I drove school bus for the crippled school to make a living, had an income, and hauled coal after day and night, you know, after work, or after school. And a couple of years later, my mother took sick, and I was up for a lot of nights all night long with a heating pad, or a water bottle. We didn't have heating pads, electric heating pads in those days. I was up with a hot water bottle we couldn't find what was the matter with her. Heat was the only thing that helped her. And I had her in all the hospitals in Toledo and the Dearborn, the Henry Ford Hospital. Couldn't find it. So I brought her home. She had her until I turned 21 on my birthday, June 12th, 1934. And a couple months later, my mother died. And there I was. I had my brother 6 and my sister 13. The bottom of the world dropped out.